Hey John, when's the Year Luigi video coming?
Luigi's an interesting character. He was so underappreciated that he retroactively became more appreciated because of how unappreciated he was. And I think that's beautiful. The fact that he's overlooked is like one of his defining character traits. In the 2000s, Nintendo began to push Luigi a bit more into the spotlight, giving him a stronger personality and even his own game. His trophy descriptions in Super Smash Bros. Melee and Brawl emphasized that, while cowardly, Luigi was still very important in his own right, and it was clear that the fans loved him too. And so, on Valentine's Day 2013, Nintendo announced the Year of Luigi. This changed everything. I mean, Mario games have always had Luigi, but he had never been the center of attention before. Now Luigi had an entire year. You've never had that. What have you ever accomplished? And on the day of the announcement, 3 new games prominently featuring the man, the myth, the L-Man were announced. A new Luigi's Mansion, a new Mario and Luigi game, whatever this is. It's New Super Mario Bros. With Luigi, it's got Nabbit in it. I'm sold. They hadn't made a Luigi's Mansion in 12 years. That's on the GameCube. Dream Team, on the other hand, is effectively just another Mario and Luigi game, but he sleeps in this one. Luigi fans, such as myself, were excited to see him get so much love in these new games. And the new Luigi's Mansion was coming out in only a month? What could be better?
And do the Harlem Shake.
The festivities were officially underway, and it would soon come time for Nintendo to reap the profits, literally. The first release of the Year of Luigi was Luigi's Mansion: Dark Moon. I should note at this point that I will not be comprehensively reviewing every game, but merely providing a brief overview. I definitely consider covering some of these more in depth in the future, but it's beyond the scope of this video. Dark Moon received critical praise at the time, although there's been criticism in recent years regarding things like the exaggerated art direction and mission-based structure. This divides the game into short bursts connected by a much more linear story. Everything's quick and snappy now. Gone are the animations of Luigi slowly turning a key. Say hello to the key just dissolving into thin air when you're through with it. The whole game has sort of a Saturday morning cartoon vibe.
Zoinks! It's the Gay Blade!
The first Luigi's Mansion is like kinda actually trying to be a horror game. Baby's first horror game, but a horror game nonetheless. Meanwhile, Dark Moon starts with Luigi just chilling at home and Egad sucking him into the TV. Hey, it is a Saturday morning cartoon. I had a lot of fun trying both games, but they're definitely two different beasts. Regardless, Dark Moon is brimming with personality, and it was nice to have another Luigi's Mansion after so long. I'm sure the future Year of Luigi titles will continue to take advantage of the character's potential, giving you unique experiences that other Mario games can't. Why are you looking at me like that? New Super Luigi U. The game everyone was asking for. An enduring classic that the rest of the gaming industry is still trying to catch up to. Pretty impressive for a DLC expansion to a fairly derivative game. For all the jokes about how New Super Mario Bros. Was far from new by the time this came out, I gave it a try in preparation for this video, and I had a pretty good time. The game co-ops a lot of the aesthetics from New Super Mario Bros. U, notably featuring an almost identical opening and world map. The big difference is that Mario is no longer in Peach's castle, having left his hat on the table. God rest his soul. Mario isn't playable in this game. There is, however, an interesting little post-game reward called the Mario Block, but it's called the Luigi Block, but it's got an M, and I don't know. Anyways, the Luigi Block appears in every level after you've cleared the game, and while it won't bring Luigi's fallen brother back from the dead, it will alter your physics to match that of Mario. This is a neat little bonus, I suppose, although I think it might have been cooler to unlock the man himself. So if Mario's not a playable character, who do we have to offer? Well, we still have Yellow Toad and Blue Toad, as well as obviously Luigi, but to occupy the space left by Mario, they've added Nabbit. Everyone's favorite Mario character. Nabbit was an enemy in the original New Super Mario Bros. U, and they actually took this as an opportunity to make his character more interesting. Nabbit operates very differently, not being able to use any items or Yoshis, but he also can't be hit by enemies. Probably because he was one in a previous life. He can still fall into pits though. The game would receive a standalone physical release the following month with a special green Wii U header and a Year of Luigi logo on the box to commemorate how important this event was. Overall, I think New Super Luigi U U is a strangely novel game in an otherwise stale franchise, and I quite enjoyed my time with it. Another YouTuber called Silacock did a video that goes a lot more in depth on it. I highly recommend that one if you want to hear more. Also, if you were an American or Canadian Club Nintendo member who bought the DLC before August 1st, you could complete a survey for a chance to win one of 980 limited Luigi pins. It looks like there was a very similar pin released during San Diego Comic-Con, which is like the only one I can find on eBay. I would assume that means that these specific ones are rare if there's any difference between them at all. So if you're one of those 980 people, I hope you feel good about your rare collector's item. Dream Team was released in July, and Nintendo missed a huge opportunity here to refer to it as a Luigi and Mario game. I gotta be honest with you, I never got a chance to buy or play this one, so I can't say a ton about it. But what I can do is bring in someone who has. I've asked my fellow YouTuber Jester41 to help me out, so props to them for helping with this section. In the game, Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Toadsworth visit Paillo Island.
Do you get it? Because
Brook Monsieur and Starlo from Bowser's Inside Story are also here, I guess. They all get attacked by this weird dude, but it's a dream, but it's not a dream because it happens. Some portions of the game are played in the real world, which is 3D, while others are played in the dream world, which is 2D. When you're in Luigi's dreams, he becomes Dreamy Luigi, but he was already dreamy to me. Dreamy Luigi is a little braver than usual, and he can become large when he combines with the Luiginoids. What is this game? If you like the other Mario and Luigi titles, you'll probably like this one too. The soundtrack bops because it's composed by Yoko Shimomura, who has done the music for a ton of notable games, including the previous Mario and Luigi titles. Get this game if you like your Mario and Luigi with a little extra Luigi. The end of summer is when things really started heating up. Ladies, gentlemen, NBs, I'm talking about the Chicago L train. Nintendo partnered with the Chicago Transit Authority to transform the brown line of Chicago's L train into the Luigi line. The fact that there was a green line and they didn't convert that into a Luigi-themed train confuses and upsets me deeply, although this Nintendo Life article implies that those on the green line did get a chance to meet the man himself. Honestly, the fact that this happened at all is amazing. Imagine going to take your morning commute to work and not only seeing your favorite video game, New Super Luigi U, plastered on the train you always take, but being able to see the man himself, your idol, your hero, the L-Man, riding the train alongside you. Well, if you took the Chicago Brown Line on August 12, 2013, between the hours of 6 a.m. and 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, you don't need to imagine. But you can also imagine a much sadder existence. What if, much like every other real gamer, your favorite game was New Super Luigi U? And imagine, if you will, much like the first hypothetical, you lived in Chicago and took the L train to work every single day. But in this instance, you go to the station, you see the Brown Line adorned with artwork from humanity's greatest achievement, and you see the man you have always aspired to be riding that green line. But your heart sinks, knowing deep down that the train you have to take that day is the red line. Your heart is green, but your soul is black. The pain is overwhelming. But fret not, weary traveler, because if you happen to be at the Clark and Lake Station, you would get a chance to play a demo of your favorite video game on one of the many kiosks that were placed there. Remember, this was before the Switch. If you really wanted to, I'm sure you could get yourself a portable power supply and bring your Wii U on the train, having a wonderful time on your gamepad at a public space, but it wasn't exactly convenient. So being able to try the brand new Luigi title while you waited for your next train must have been a pleasant surprise. On the same day, Luigi himself took over Nintendo of America's Twitter account. This involved a bunch of wonderful pictures of the mascot costume, I mean Luigi, and some cute captions written in character.
Good morning, everybody. It's me, Luigi. I'm taking over tweets today from Chicago, while riding the L, of course. All aboard! My Luigi train is leaving the station. I hear the ride has one loop. I hope I don't get too dizzy. Oh, mamma mia. Just stepped off the L train at the Clark and Lake Station and hit my head. Ow! Classic Luigi. Hashtag Luigi in me. Come play New Super Luigi U all day at the Clark and Lake Station on the L for Luigi. Mamma mia, the Chicago buildings are tall. Now I know how Mario must feel. It's funny because he's shorter than me. Hey, it's the Chicago River. I hear sometimes they dye it green. I guess they forgot today. Aww. I think I am in pizza heaven. Or maybe I am dreaming again. If I am dreaming, please do not wake me up. Oh. Thanks, Chicago. I had a great time here. To me, you will always be the home of the L. Everyone in Chicago can ride my train till September 8th. Ha ha!
At the end of August, Nintendo put out what I can only describe as a tax write-off. Simply titled Finding Luigi, The Legend of Parkour, this YouTube video tells the story of two documentarians chronicling the illustrious parkour career of Luigi. It features cameos from a bunch of then relevant YouTubers, all very respected and esteemed individuals. This video has completely changed the course of my life. You know, people say that the promotional stunts used to advertise the Wii U didn't age well.
He respected himself.
All I know is that I've got to track down whoever edited this so they can add some much needed flair to the Johnny channel. I do genuinely wonder what the people involved in the production of this video are doing nowadays. I mean, our leads clearly have acting chops.
It is, dude. It's a hot dog stick. Is that where they batter the hot dogs? They dip them in the... and they eat it?
August also saw the release of the Year of Luigi Sound Selection, a Japanese Club Nintendo reward that you could obtain for a mere 400 points, which would be docked to 200 if you owned a Year of Luigi-related game. This CD featured a selection of Luigi-related tracks, including Luigi Circuit from Mario Kart Wii, Mr. L's Green Thunder from Super Paper Mario, and a bunch of Luigi's Mansion tracks, and several songs from other games as well. The cover of this CD is adorned with Luigi artwork going as far back as his debut in the original Mario Bros. Arcade game. Props to them for using some pretty obscure artwork on here, especially the 2D pieces from the original Super Smash Bros. And Super Mario Advance. Unfortunately, this CD was never released outside of Japan, so it's become a bit more expensive than most people would like to pay. But if you're a Luigi fan who still owns a Sony CD Walkman, I say go for it! After a month of nothing in September, the only real notable thing to happen on October was this nifty little coin that came in a green bag. Another Club Nintendo reward you could get, this time through the European and Australian websites. It was worth 1,500 points in Europe and 1,250 in Australia. These are worth a fair chunk of change now. There's also a coin from Comic-Con that seems to pop up a little more commonly. Noticing a pattern here? Nothing actually happened this month, so I'm gonna do something else. Now, the internet is an imperfect place full of incomplete documentation, which means there's a bunch of different merchandise and assorted promotions that I can't put a date on. There's a chance they're out there somewhere, but I thought it might be fun to instead group them all together and have some fun pointing and laughing at funny green things. Like these two limited edition 3DS XL models. Complete with a copy of Mario and Luigi Dream Team, the North American variant features a slick black and silver design with a tastefully outlined Luigi in gold. It's unfortunate to see that his degenerate brother Mario is also featured here, but beauty cannot exist without sacrifice. But if you want your Luigi collection to remain clean and green, the Japanese variant has got you. A pure white aesthetic sprinkled with Luigi silhouettes in 3 different shades of green. Just look at that heavenly glow. These limited edition models can be yours for the low price of like $300 on eBay.com. There's also this jigsaw puzzle that appears to have been a Japanese Club Nintendo reward. It uses an image similar to the Sound Selection CD and comes in a neat little pouch. There was also a poster available with a recolored Super Mario Bros. Sprite as part of a 3-poster set, which was a North American reward. Additionally, there were a number of interesting digital events. There was a time when you could get Mii's of various Nintendo employees sent to your Street Pass Plaza, decked out in Luigi caps and green clothes. Miiverse added 4 temporary communities as well. A general Year of Luigi community, a developer's room, and communities for Dark Moon and Dream Team. Miiverse was also home to a number of competitions. There was a North American competition where the goal was to get the least amount of coins in New Super Luigi U, and in Japan there were 5 drawing competitions themed around Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. You can still see the winners on Nintendo's Japanese website to this very day. Swapnote also got in on the action with Luigi-themed stationery and an assortment of notes from Miyamoto and Tezuka.
There's also this crazy cool 30th anniversary celebration for Luigi held at the Nintendo World Store. You can see the staff is all wearing Luigi shirts, there are banners everywhere, everything's lit up green. Luigi himself was there, all the Luigi merch was placed out front. Truly the best of times. Fans came out showing their support in green hats and with Luigi artwork, and Luigi even got a cake to celebrate his grand achievement. What I would have given to have been there. What I would have given to have been there.
Finally, we have my personal favorite, a promotional recording featuring Charles Martinet in character as as Luigi. No idea where this comes from other than the fact that Nintendo of America produced it. He describes how the attention has been putting him under pressure, and you can feel the raw anxiety eating away at his being as he continues to speak.
I don't like to brag too much, but this is the year of Luigi, or as I like to call it, the year of me, because I'm Luigi. I'm been pretty busy this year, dealing with a lot of ghosts. These days, even taking a nap seems to be like work for some reason.
The highlight for me, aside from the euphoria of hearing Luigi speak in complete sentences, has to be his sense of humor.
I'm going to finish with a joke. Oh, okie dokie. This is Luigi's joke. What wears green, competes with Mario, and wears an L on his head? Do you give up? Okie dokie. Answer? A Koopa wearing an L on his head. Why is nobody laughing? Hello? Is this on? Mr. Microphone, hello?
With the holidays rapidly approaching, Nintendo president Satoru Iwata dropped a bomb on us. In a Nintendo Direct, he announced that this mystical year would actually continue into 2014, as well as announcing the titles NES Remix and Dr. Luigi. This was huge for Luigi fans everywhere, and there were celebrations on every street corner, or at least that's how I remember it. December also saw the release of this gorgeous diorama featuring Luigi and his ghost dog Polterpup. This was another Club Nintendo reward, being available in Europe for 7,000 stars and America for 1,500 coins. The sculpt is crazy detailed, and I honestly love it. Predictably, it's not exactly cheap now, but I was honestly expecting it to be much more expensive. To round out December, on New Year's Eve in Japan and January 15th for the rest of the world, Nintendo finally gave Luigi his medical license, and the Wii U eShop was graced with Dr. Luigi. While Retro Remedy Mode is a faithful recreation of the original Dr. Mario, Operation L shakes things up a bit by giving you L-shaped pills, which seem like they would be needlessly complex to swallow. This mode is a fun little mix-up that makes it a bit harder, but sometimes the paired multivitamins will just kind of fix themselves, which I find pretty amusing. The game also features a take on the Virus Buster mode from Dr. Mario Online RX. This mode actually originated from Brain Age 2 using touch controls, however Online RX changed it to motion controls because Wii. Dr. Luigi changes it back to touch controls due to the Wii U gamepad. Technology truly does march forward. There's also an online mode, and I swear I spent like 20 minutes in that lobby, so you can't say I didn't try. If anyone wants to play Dr. Luigi, hit me up. One last note about the game is that it features new viruses instead of the originals, and yeah, I don't like these. The idea of giving Luigi different viruses to mix the game up is good, but these look pretty off-brand. Dizzy gives me nightmares. Actually, they all give me nightmares. I want to go home. No new games or merch seem to have come out in January 2014, but we did receive an ominous reminder that nothing good lasts forever. A video was posted to the official Nintendo YouTube channel showcasing a challenge for NES Remix in which you play the original Mario Bros. Arcade game. Your goal is to, and I quote, make poor Luigi lose a life. The blatant disrespect Luigi was shown in this video was met with cynicism by many in the comments section. This horrific display of abuse made clear that Nintendo was in total control. While Luigi had been in the spotlight for the past year, they were more than willing to pull the rug out from under him at any opportunity. February was another dry month for Funny Green Man, aside from one announcement from Shigeru Miyamoto himself, which he posted to Miiverse, my social media platform of choice. In this post, Miyamoto announced that the year of Luigi would officially draw to a close on March 18th of that year. But before it's over, I'd like to reflect on some Easter eggs included in several Nintendo games in 2013. New Super Luigi U hides Luigi sprites in all of its courses. Because the Flying Squirrel Oblivion level contains 2, there are a total of 83 hidden Luigis, which is a reference to the fact that Luigi first appeared in Mario Bros. From 1983. Some of these are giant monuments to the man that are not hidden at all, while others are a bit more subtle. Most of them take the form of Luigi sprite from Super Mario Bros. With a more modern color scheme, though the level under construction uses his sprite from the All-Stars version of Super Mario World instead.
Some don't use stock sprites at all and instead rely on other forms of artwork like this lovely portrait from the level Painted Pipeworks.
3D World does a similar thing. While it's not every level, like in the best game ever made, most of them still have a Luigi tucked away somewhere. A lot of these are more subtle, with my favorite exception being the striking image of NES Luigi emblazoned upon the moon in the level A Beam in the Dark, if you complete the level with around 30 seconds remaining.
There's also a few hidden in the overworld.
Watching. waiting. When the game was ported to Switch in 2021, I had no Luigi-related expectations, for the year of our savior had long since passed. But miraculously, in the new Bowser's Fury game mode, you can still see that little sprite, jumping out of the occasional question mark block. The hidden Luigis in 2014's NES Remix 2 are a little harder to spot, considering, of course, that the whole game is 8-bit. But while they're not as frequent as the prior two games, they're still sprinkled lovingly throughout the title. Some of these are so blended into the background that if I weren't actively looking for them, I can imagine spotting them out of the corner of my eye and going into fight or flight mode. Nothing is scarier than an 8-bit Luigi in the corner of your peripheral vision. Nothing. I was actually hanging out with some friends when I first started recording footage of this game, and the first Luigi cameo passed by so fast that they didn't believe me, and I had to go back and prove it to them. And then, of course, they did the thing that only best friends do, where they gaslit me into thinking I was insane by pretending they didn't see him in the footage. He's there, right? Right? Finally, in Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, the hidden Luigis are more sparse and subtle, only popping up in a handful of levels. But it's nice to see the extra effort put in regardless. I especially like the one hidden in the fountain because of how obscure it is. March 18th. Not with a bang, but a whimper. As the golden gates to heaven closed on that fateful day, the silence from on high was absolutely deafening. Okay, maybe that's an exaggeration. There was a St. Patrick's Day tweet with Luigi, as well as an eShop sale. It's not enough! Surely they had some kind of last minute thing in there. I mean, come on! Where's the games? Where's the merch? Everything that we had in the prior months. What was even the point of continuing the year beyond 2013 if they weren't gonna do anything with it? Surely they had something more. Oh my god. This game feels like it was hacked together by an intern in 12 minutes. There were a few posthumous additions to the Year of Luigi's legacy. That NES Remix 2 game I mentioned actually came out a month after the year formally came to a close. In addition to the assorted Luigi cameos, it contains a full Super Luigi Bros. Game that is hastily tacked onto the title screen. It's basically just the original Super Mario Bros., but you play as Luigi and the screen is flipped. They even kept the question marks backwards. They just MS Paint horizontal flipped that shit! It's half-baked, but weirdly charming. I liked this edition, but my muscle memory did not. Also, in June 2014, the company Good Smile released a Luigi Nendoroid figure. The Year of Luigi was over, and I do think the figure was intended to be a tie-in in some way. However, there was no Year of Luigi branding on the packaging itself. The figure did, amusingly, release a year before Mario got a Nendoroid of his own. Ha! Eat that, Mario. What a loser. And with that, Luigi's time in the sun had officially drawn to a close. Again. The Year of Luigi was obviously a rousing success. Oh no. Now, I think there are a couple possible explanations for this. One, focusing on Luigi for an entire year was actually a terrible idea. Putting all your emphasis on a character that's number 2 obviously translated to Nintendo being number 3 in sales that year. 2, this is unrelated to the focus put upon our Lord and Savior, and is instead related to the fact that Nintendo was focusing on the Wii U, a famously doomed console. And while there were some big releases that year, it was too late. And the Luigi thing was actually just a coincidence. I, myself, have a third theory. They didn't focus on Luigi enough. Ignoring the games that feature Year of Luigi content but don't have his name in the title, we only got 4 Year of Luigi games. Of those, 1 features Luigi playing second billing to that smug, good-for-nothing Mario, and 2 of them are effectively dolled-up versions of existing Mario titles. The sole remaining Luigi title is a sequel to an existing Luigi title. A good start, but like, where's the games that take advantage of the fact that they're about Luigi? Games where he can truly escape the shadow of Mario and grow into his own that aren't themed around hunting ghosts. I mean, Luigi got an entire taco stand. Come on! Give Luigi something. Maybe have him dip his toes into a type of game that Mario's never done, that Mario couldn't do. Where's the Luigi stealth game? If anyone knows how to hide in the shadows, it's him. What about the Luigi beat 'em up? The Luigi Metroidvania? The Luigi dating sim? I don't know, all I'm saying is that they could have done more than new Super Mario Bros. DLC and an eShop exclusive Dr. Mario reskin, you know?
Oh, what happened? Oh, Mama.
The Year of Luigi seems to have been largely forgotten in the years since. Most times it comes up these days, it seems to be as something of an in-joke amongst Nintendo fans. That's why this video got made, actually. The Year of Luigi became something of an inside joke between me and my good friend Sam, and eventually the jokes evolved into the idea that I make a video on it, which he brings up every time I post a video that's not it, and every time I mention my channel, and any time I mention Luigi. And
Hey John, when's the Year of Luigi video coming out?
You knocked
It's
my
been a
entire
whole
phone
entire
out of my
year.
hand. I'm
I've
just
been waiting
trying
for a
to do
year.
this
I
video.
asked you about it once,
I'm
and then you
doing
were
it,
like, okay,
and you
I'm
came
gonna
into
do
my
it, and you
house,
promised
burned
Ancient
my
Luigi.
waffles,
We played
and you're like,
Mario
hey
all the
John,
time with
hey John,
Emily,
and I take the waffle out
Yeah,
the
but
toaster, and there's
you
an L
promised
burned
me.
into it. I can't
You promised
eat that.
me your firstborn.
Anyways, I figured that I would cap off this video by talking about the legacy of the Year of Luigi. The first post-year reference was in a Mario Kart 8 Direct on April 30th, 2014.
Who will win? It's Mario! I guess the Year of Luigi really is over.
You disrespect my son. In the later part of 2014, Super Smash Bros. For 3DS and Wii U were released. These games have two references to the Year of Luigi, the first being in Luigi's trophy description. The North American version states, Luigi recently celebrated his 30th anniversary with the Year of Luigi, but all that attention just made him even more shy and awkward. Man! Poor guy. I was just trying to celebrate his legacy. I wasn't trying to make him feel bad. Is this video going to draw further attention to Luigi, causing his anxiety to swell once more? I'm scrapping this. I'm done. It's over. The other reference is in the Palutena's guidance conversation about our green gamer. Verity talks mad smack about Luigi, and Pit defends him by saying that he even had his own year, which Verity doesn't remember. You don't remember? It was last year! Ignorant children think they can just come in here and disrespect a working class man, an Emerald King. To be fair, she does concede that if Luigi's number 2 at everything, then that means he's actually pretty darn good at Smash. You're off the hook for now, but I've got my eyes on you. Also, in 2014, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker came out in Japan. As previously mentioned, it contains numerous Luigi sightings. And lastly, in December 2015, another Mario and Luigi title, Paper Jam, was released. I'm gonna put up an image of a Paper Jam when I do that. This title is relevant because it features a scene in which Starlo gives Luigi a pep talk, and one thing she says to bolster his confidence is that, hey man, you had your very own year. That's pretty cool, right? Yeah, Starlo, that is pretty cool. I'm glad someone around here respects this man. The Year of Luigi was an incredibly unique marketing stunt, and I wish we saw Nintendo do more like it. I make fun of things like Dr. Luigi, but they're such interesting little oddities. I mean, come on, guys. We all made fun of the million new Super Mario Bros. Games, but New Super Luigi U? That was a wild left turn we didn't even know we wanted. You guys did want it, right? Not to mention that cavalcade of merchandise and the weird promotional material. Learning about the lows Nintendo sunk into during this truly one-of-a-kind period made me appreciate it so much more. And I hope you had as much fun learning about it as I did vomiting it up into a YouTube video. Now maybe Sam will leave me alone? Maybe? I'm a Johnny. Number 1. Peace.
You know, he's a rock star, and rock stars are meant to burn out.
And he was gone.
Well, there goes a disc.
You think the disc still works?
There's only one way to find out. Let's put it back in the There's a play button. I don't know. It fell off.
Oh shit.
I think the play button fell off. Well,
Here, I think I can, no, I probably shouldn't. Because it's still wedged. I think I can...
alright.
That's good.